be the bearer of bad news, but terror and doom looms from error and sad tools. Comparison to that dude, I'm mirrored in that too. They scared of my bad moves, but I got a bag too. You better get back, move, because the missiles is locked, malicious pistols is cocked. The army very different from cops. I observe, I listen and watch. Hall of Fame, the way I'm pitching the rock. The same shit from the lip, just a chip from the block. Nope, see, you niggas ain't ready. Nope, nope, you niggas ain't ready. Revelation, contemplation, transformation. It's Friday the 13th, and guess who playing Jason? You niggas ain't ready. Nope, you niggas ain't ready. Nope, you niggas ain't ready. Revelation, contemplation, transformation. Friday the 13th, and guess who playing Jason? It's me, nigga. I seen it in my crystal ball under the mistletoe. I seen this shit crystal clear. They feel like they getting close. The timing already here. They feel like I didn't know. My ancestors had me prepared. I'm using a different scope because the missiles is locked. Malicious pistols is cocked. The army different from cops. I observe, I listen and watch. Hall of Fame, the way I'm pitching the rock. The same shit from the lip, just a chip from the block. No, these niggas ain't ready. Nope, these niggas ain't ready. Revelation, contemplation, transformation. It's Friday the 13th, and guess who playing Jason? It's me, nigga. Nope, you niggas ain't ready. No, you niggas ain't ready. Nope, you niggas ain't. You niggas. Revelation, contemplation, transformation. Friday the 13th, and guess who playing Jason?
That's why we're seeing some really interesting trends in a lot of key battleground states. Let's start with Pennsylvania with its coveted 19 electoral votes. And I want to focus for a moment on Erie County up here. This is a crucial swing county. It goes Trump in 2016, narrowly back to Biden in 2020. Now I want to go in even further than that. This right here, this is Mill Creek Township, District 2. Polls are showing momentum toward Harris in areas like this. But to really understand what's going on, let's go even closer. Zoom in a little bit more. Right here, right here. This is 114 Hilltop Lane. Now I want to take us inside the bedroom here. Bear with me. There we go. So this is Nick Camden, 37-year-old registered independent. He goes Hillary in 2016, Trump in 2020. Which way is he going to go in 2024? Really hard to say at this point. It's pretty early, but we know it's going to be close.
And Jason, what are you seeing inside this person that might indicate movement one way or another?
So this is just a very ordinary Rust Belt body, small town values, predominantly white. It's got the lungs, it's got the vascular system, the heart, but I actually want to show you what's in here. This is the neocortex and the amygdala. These are areas of the brain responsible for regulating emotion and memory. So let's play out a couple of scenarios here. If, for example, this man remembers his grandmother and the time she took him to an Al Gore rally in 1999, feels good about that, that's a win for the Democrats. On the other hand, take a look at this. This is the area of the brain that's associated with social interaction and groups, and we've seen it light up when Nick goes out for beers with his Trump-supporting coworkers. So we're looking at really a thin margin here. I want to show you something, actually. Let's come back out. Let's go past the ribcage, past the lungs, past the heart, past the tumor. Healthcare going to be a really big issue in this election, obviously. Past the DNA to what we're calling the source, the origin of life, existence itself, where all of humanity's answers can be found.
And can we zoom in further than that?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm scared. But what we can do is we can actually zoom out here, out of the DNA, out of Nick Camden, out of Erie, Pennsylvania, out of the solar system to the edges of our cosmos, where we see ultimately how meaningless this whole race really is and how insignificant all of our tiny little lives really are.
That is a big map. Thank you, Jason. Coming up next, the Trump campaign is in full-on damage control after footage leaked of the candidate being extremely...
Who did you vote for today?
I voted for Kamala Harris.
Why is that?
I have 3 daughters, 4 children overall, and women's rights is pretty important to them and my daughters. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional about that. I didn't think that I was going to do that, but just their bodies, their choice type of a mentality. I want them to grow up in a world that's welcoming to everybody. So yeah, that's why I cast my vote today.
I swear people have shit for brains. If you are determining the fate of this country over the next 4 years on the premise of preserving your right to continue murdering babies, number 1, you're sick. Number 2, you're fucking stupid. You want to talk about women's rights? Let's talk about how the candidate that you're voting for has opened up our southern border and allowed illegal immigrants to flow into this country to continue raping, murdering, and selling women into sex trafficking. But thank God you can get a fucking abortion. You want to talk about women's rights? Let's talk about how the current administration rewrote Title IX. Title IX, which was legislation to prohibit discrimination on somebody based off their sex, basically giving women equal opportunity, especially in sports and academics. It has now been opened up to anybody that identifies as a woman, taking away opportunity for biological women, you dumbass. Let's talk about how the party that you're voting for can't even define what the fuck a woman is. They think that anybody that identifies as one is equal to a biological woman. Your rights are being stripped away from you as we speak, and you're too dumb to realize it. But I forgot, none of that matters because your idea of women's rights is defined by being able to have an abortion. Wrap it up, use a contraceptive, get on birth control, pop a plan B, bitch. Not to mention, Donald Trump said he would veto a national abortion ban. He said abortion is justified when it comes to the life of the mother, rape, or incest. And for some of you to think that having an abortion is the most pressing issue that this nation is facing right now, be so fucking for real. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.
Why you wore that Trump hat in here? Tell me about this Trump hat.
I'm a diehard Trump supporter. In my household, you got Martin Luther King, you got Jesus, and you got Donald Trump.
Wait a minute.
Not in that particular order, but yeah, you got Martin Luther King, Jesus, and Donald Trump.
Why you got Donald Trump? Now, you know, well, I'm a straight Democrat, but I'm for the best person.
Yes,
but
sir.
Now, why you got Donald Trump?
Because I paid attention in school when I was a kid, and so I know the true history of both the Republican and Democratic Party. I know that they really didn't switch during the Nixon Southern strategy. That one became more clever than the other in dealing with black people. We the Democrats, we got away. We were the Republicans' friends. We was their friends, but we were the Democrats. When you look at the origins of the Ku Klux Klan, it originated out of the Democratic Party.
The Ku Klux Klan?
It did.
Okay.
Every civil rights legislation that ever has been passed in this country was authored, written, sponsored, and voted on 100% by Republicans and not Democrats. Every civil rights legislation.
Well, what you gonna do?
So let me ask you about Trump. Right. So as a kid, I remember being 6, 7 years old and seeing Donald Trump receiving an award with Muhammad Ali, Rosa Parks from the NAACP. Not only that, he engaged and interacted in our culture from the 80s throughout the 90s and even the 2000s, from rappers to Michael Jackson. So when we looked out into our culture, his face appeared many, many times. So for me to grow up now and then hear the media, because before the media started saying he was racist, I never heard a black leader say it. I never heard my grandmother say it. I never heard no one even mention anything bad about him other than rappers giving him praise in over 300 to 600 rap songs. So for the media to say, oh, he's racist, I knew they were playing con on us. And I can remember when America was great. I can remember when black children could play outside all day long and you didn't hear about kids being kidnapped. You didn't hear about drive-by shooting.
Ronald McDonald.
We will drive out the globalists.
Patriots go.
We will cast out the communists. America will start winning again. Winning like never before. We will bring back our jobs. We will bring back our borders. And we will bring back our dreams.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, man. We here with another video, the spiritual meaning of the 2024 election. I'm here with the initiates, Dark Satan the Serpent, AD, here to just monitor this election, see what's going on, but also give some occult wisdom tied into what's happening in real life. You know, people try to separate spiritual from real life. In this video, I want to attempt to combine the spiritual and the physical. So shout out to y'all. Make sure y'all like the video since y'all here. Share the video since y'all here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What's up, AD? What's up, Serpent?
Yo, what's the word? How we doing, chat? How we feeling tonight? Drop a flame if y'all ready for this loaded impactful presentation.
What's good, Serpent? Serpent at work, so he'll tap in once he comes back around. So basically, man, today is election day. One's in the chat if you've been bombarded with election advertisements, people texting your phone, telling you who to vote for, who not to vote for. One's in the chat if you don't argue with somebody in your family over who they voting for versus who you voting for. One's in the chat if you not voting at motherfucking all, man. How y'all goddamn doing?
Really doing good, man. I was actually getting phone calls yesterday and today from the grandparents saying that did you make sure you vote? You know,
Oh
I'm
my
like,
goodness.
I hit that one reel when they be like, "Hey, grandma." Yeah, grandma. Hit that, yeah, because I just can't tap into that. I'm too busy trying to meditate, trying to get some goals going, and getting caught up in this election. I was gonna say presentation, but you can say it's a presentation.
Yeah, it is a presentation. It is theater for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It is occult rituals for sure. So I personally like dealing with this type of stuff because it lets me know that magic is real. Because Kamala Harris is an occultist, Donald Trump is an occultist, and they do high level magic in a modern time. I do so too. So these is more like peers to me than like government officials. But what's up, Serpent? How you feeling today?
I'm good, bro. Gucci. I'm just here to be a fly on the wall and watch you do your thistle. Sacred Serpent, Sacred Dark Serpent, Flame On Shop. Holla at your boy. Let's get to it.
Man, so the purpose of this video is to help people tap into their magic because people will ask, who are you voting for? And for me, I'm just sitting back like, man, this is amazing, really, to see how much magic is being put down from Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. We talking biblical things. We're talking about science fiction, time traveling, extraterrestrials. It's all here in this election. So when people say, I'm not dealing with it, I find that hard to do because every day I'm getting a text message. Every time I use any type of media, I'm seeing an ad on who to vote for and who not to vote for. And the talking points is crazy. I mean, I remember just growing up, I've been reflecting on Al Gore and Bill Clinton and George Bush. And I thought those elections was intense.
Remember the Jeb Bush debacle? Remember the Jeb Bush joint?
All of that, it felt so super intense back then, didn't it? This pales in comparison to that. This is highly intense. And so instead of talking about the election, I want to talk about metaphysics, and I want to talk about occult, and I want to talk about more or less the chart. So every election season, the sun will be in sidereal Libra because it'll be in the beginning of November. Libra deals a lot with courts, governments, balance, fairness, morality, things of that nature. This particular election season is a perfect trine to Saturn. And Saturn is dealing a lot with time. If you get into the science of Saturn, you'll get into the science of Chronos. Chronos just is a Greek word for time. So when we think about how we spend our time, you reflect on this presidential election that have been really in the works for the past 4 years. So the Republicans, in the time that they spent to run this race versus the Democrats, the time that they spent to run this race, you will see it today. There is no emotion. There is no emotion. There is no passion. 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 It's only mental. And so this is why I like sidereal astrology, because in Western astrology is dealing with the emotions of it, but the emotions of it is not going to get you a victory. What's actually going to get you a victory is to think about it. So, AD, in this past year, how have you been utilizing your time, and how have it manifest this week?
I've been using my time to really tap into my creativity, right? And when I see that creativity, I see it in footwork, you know what I'm saying, doing all types of cartwheels and shit, and it's manifesting in my tournaments and my competition scene today. You know, so that's what I've been using my time for. When I'm in the gym, that's my focus. And you know what's crazy, Hood? I promise you, Hood, I promise you, my gym affiliation name is Chronos. What we wear on our uniform is Chronos.
Can't make it up.
Can't make it up.
Can't make it up.
Yeah, spiritual development, business, work, in that order. Again, spiritual development, business, and work. I really don't invest my time or my emotions in anything other than that. So that's why it's interesting for us to be able to observe this from afar and still be able to witness, you know, all of the potential crash outs. But again, like I said, cultivating my spiritual development, my business, and my work. That's it.
You know, now I see why they be like the energies, because in Western astrology is all emotional shit. Now I'm getting how they doing it. Okay.
And really think about it though, because if you are mentally balanced and you're not caught up, and when you get into the science of how they're utilizing emotions and it's not working, is because there is another level to life. There is another level to it. And it seems as though I had a vision that this is not all good when Trump get elected president, if he get elected to be president, because he's gonna make himself a king. He's gonna do that, right? It's gonna be like, I've been studying this shit like history, and you got to think in the history of life, it's been more kings than anything. Is that a fair point?
Hard point. Look at Rome.
It's mad kings out here in the history of the world. And so this is what this is really about. But the way that he's doing it is very, very, very interesting. And it's some shit that you can't make up. So this is an article from 2020 about time traveling and Donald Trump. And it's a story. It's a story called, let me get this shit right. It's a story called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey and the Last President from 1890s. I need y'all to put a 1 in the chat if y'all see this. This is for the clips. This is for the reality of it. Because people then, when we start talking about the spiritual side of it, the metaphysical and the occult, right? They be like, oh, Kyrie, you far-fetched. No, it's an actual book. Right? And that was put out in the 1890s called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey and the Last President. That is a fiction, okay? What is the reality? People can talk all this shit about spiritual people, especially me, all they want. But I'm talking about facts right now. Donald Trump has a son named Baron Trump in real life right now. Undeniable. So in the story, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, do you know what the person that was guiding him name was?
What was it, big dog?
His name was Don.
Nah, you pulling my leg, bro.
Read it on the screen. Don, the master of all masters. Now, if this book is not real, Trump's adventures begin in Russia. We're going to bring Russia back into this when we talk about Moloch in the Democratic Party, because the reason that you're interested or not interested is because of a spirit. And let me just say this, because we're going to get deep and it's going to be a trigger alert. If you not really ready to come to full understanding that you need to banish negative entities and energies out of your bloodline, because a lot of times as men, we under the spirit of Moloch because of free sex. Now, if you come from a family of free sex, and this is not every family, peep what I'm saying. But if you grew up in a certain type of way, where sex was just going to be, brushed off the table, and you was going to have sex when you was going to have sex, that is a spirit, because everybody don't live like that, especially successful people. And then we get into the spiritual community, and I swear to God, we scratching our heads in our single parent led households, trying to figure it out. But yet and still, when we lay out the facts, and then we lay out the spirit behind the facts, people then say, I'd rather be mad at you, Kyrie. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Or do I just sound crazy?
Heavy.
Nah, you would just be the next in line, because people have to create someone to express their vitriol towards, because they just didn't know. They had no clue.
And really, that's really what it's about, having the knowledge. Okay, so go ahead, AD.
No, I was gonna say I would get it, if you was saying all this stuff and he didn't have a son named Baron and all that shit. But it's like it's in your face, so it's like you're gonna get mad at me for talking about something that we all can see.
Exactly. So when we lay it all out, and when you hear it all, I'm just the one that's organizing the information, and then making it concise and clarifying the points, so therefore you're not confused about it, so you can banish the demons out of your aura, so you can understand that if you want to change your life, you might want to do it in a way where you change your past, because the Democratic Party is important and the Republican Party is important when it comes to Black people. Because if we not understanding, because once we can't have it both ways. We can't be seeing Black people getting their ass kicked, and then we not talking about doing proper exorcisms of the negative entities that are kicking our ass, leading us in, the dramas of the Black community. We watch the news, and if we want to be ignorant of the mental disease of growing up Black, then fuck it, because then we'll look at people like Jay-Z and Beyonce and all our upward mobile Black people and say, see, it's really not that bad, hood. It's just what you looking at. But if what I'm looking at is so bad that the upward mobile people don't even matter, I don't even give a fuck, because the upward mobile people ain't speaking to the demon in the community, then you know what I'm saying? And it all connects. So once again, we're talking about Donald Trump right now, and then we're going to talk about Kamala. But right now, Donald Trump in real life has an uncle named John G. Trump. John G. Trump, I need y'all to really go through this article with me real quick. It's not long and drawn out, but it's to make a point. And everything that I'm reading is fact. So Nikola Tesla was found dead in 1942 in the New Yorker Hotel. At that time, he had all of his papers. He was living at this hotel for like 8 years. So all of his technology was in this hotel. He had 2 rooms. When he died, by mysterious circumstances, Dr. John G. Trump, Serpent, you see Dr. John G. Trump on the screen? Hey,
He's
you
not
see
here,
Dr.
but I
You
see it. Yeah, I see it.
He was the one that studied. He was the one that studied Tesla's papers. Now, that's not the important part. The important part is this. Give me 1 second. I gotta just find it because I don't want to go through the whole thing, but
You good, big bro. You just sizing up everything piece by piece.
all right. So in 1952, the U.S. court declared this is his nephew, the rightful heir to his uncle's estate. Tesla's files and other materials were sent to Belgrade, Serbia, where they now reside in the Nikola Tesla Museum. But while the FBI originally recorded 80 trunks, 60 arrived in Belgrade. So there's 20 pieces of information that nobody actually knows what was in this information. And it's not that hard to figure out what was in the information because they're not going to change the word. We're talking about Tesla right now. Okay, so Tesla is very specific. It's a word that we probably use every day in reference to cyber trucks, right? Things of that nature. But it's all connected to Trump and the technology because it ain't too many people doing it like the Tesla is doing it as far as cars. As far as like getting the culture behind a vehicle, it's almost like the new version of like Henry Ford and things of that nature. So basically what I'm saying is John G. Trump got technology from Tesla and didn't report it all to the heirs of Tesla, and nor do I think he reported it all to the government. I'm imagining that it was some things that John G. Trump understood and didn't share with anybody except his nephew, Donald Trump, which they started something in 2008. Give me 1 second, right? Tesla Incorporated. Would be cool if they just sold like, nuts and bolts, but no, they selling actual electrical cars, cyber trucks. They just had the expose with the vans and the robots, right? All of this is representing of technology that everybody just don't have clear access to. And where does it come from? In my personal opinion, it come from Nikola Tesla, who gave it to Trump. Trump then somehow worked with Elon Musk. Because now, when you look at the election and who's working with Trump to really see it through is Elon Musk. Because what did Elon Musk do that was so significant to this particular campaign? Elon Musk bought Twitter. And when he bought Twitter, one of the first things that he did was bring Donald Trump back on the platform. Because if you remember in 2020, they were doing a lot of censoring online. You couldn't just post stuff online back then. They was taking it off. And he was kicked off of Twitter. So much so that they bought Twitter. And now you can basically post whatever you want on Twitter. And the reality of this thing is that they blew this thing wide open by being mental, playing chess. Now, I've been yapping. My boy Jabri just pulled up to the chat, man. What's going on with you, big dog? I'm going to check on these statistics.
Ja.
My boy, you there?
He probably stepped away. We got to reword the poll, big bro.
Yeah, I'm here. What up with y'all?
I'm about to look it up. Oh man, we just observing this United States election, talking about the spiritual implications and spiritual dialectics. What's good with you?
Man, not much. Just left the gym, took a quick shower. Now I'm here. Up since 4:15.
You can use that. The guys worked hard today. Everybody went to the gym. Love to hear it.
Yes, sir. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna play a video and put some ones in the chat if y'all can hear the video. Like the video if you have not liked the video yet. Now we gave the baseline for Trump. We're about to just give the baseline for Kamala. But from this perspective, we're going to start it off with a video. I'm going to let it play for about 2 or 3 minutes and then open it up for discussion.
No sound.
I figured it was going to be no sound. I'm going to cut it off and cut it back on. Let me know if it got sound now.
Nope.
All right. Let me just take it all the way off. Stop screen.
The Matrix is real.
And this video is from Hardly Initiated. The title of the video is called Blood Covenants, Witches in Election and Halloween Origins. It's by Tiffany Montgomery and Beverly Tucker. They were interviewed by the guys over at Hardly Initiated. Like I said, I'm going to play 2 to 3 minutes. And I think her name is Tiffany Montgomery. She's going to drop on Moloch. And then she's going to relate it to modern times. And then we're going to talk about Kamala and Ukraine and things of that nature.
Advocates in Ohio erupted in celebration Tuesday after the state voted to protect access to the procedure.
I was crying tears of complete joy and shock and just overwhelmed. I was just overwhelmed that we can actually affect change.
So this is the thing. I mean, did you see the one dude? He was like, yeah.
People crying tears of joy over abortions.
And that worries me. Now, I understand women's rights, but these people are celebrating
killing
babies.
Okay, well, but you understand that that's not part of the women's rights, right?
So I need to understand.
But you do understand that the killing of babies is not the celebration of women's rights.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Women's right is the right to vote, the right to have a job, the right to be paid the same that a man is paid, the right to be able to go out and start your business or be whatever, but it is not the right to take another life.
That's not how it's spoken about or marketed.
Well, it's not right, but maybe it needs to be better defined as to what,
I think that's intentional, right?
It is.
That's the propaganda. This is women's rights.
So let me say this, right? In the Bible, there is a God named Moloch, lowercase g. Moloch is spoken about in the Old Testament, Old Covenant, and also in the New Testament, New Covenant. He's talked about in both covenants. Moloch was the god in the Bible that was assigned to kill your children as a sacrifice. Maybe you wanted more money, maybe you wanted love, maybe you wanted fame or fortune. You sacrificed this child. Well, you may say, well, Tiffany, I'm not doing it for this. Well, if you said I can't afford to have this baby and you had an abortion, you sacrificed it for the money. If you say my career is really taken off and I can't really use a baby, you have now sacrificed your child for fame, influence, and to be well known. You did the same thing that they did in the Bible. Nothing is different. With that being said, there was always a consequence to the action. Now, we love to have this conversation. Well, Tiffany, God gave us free will, right? You agree with that? God gave us free will.
For sure.
The issue with free will, it's a beautiful thing. We thank God for free will. The issue with the conversation of free will is that free will is not free. Just like evil covenants cost. The devil wants you to think that walking into a covenant with him is not costly. It's not expensive. It is. But one of the beautiful thing about God is he lays out his covenants precept by precept in the Bible. If you make covenant with me, this is all the good that's going to happen. If you break covenant with me, this is all the bad that's going to happen. The devil doesn't do that. He wants you to go into covenant in a dream, make you wake up, forget all your dreams, so you don't know what you did. He wants you to have sex. He wants things that happened to you when you were a child that you forgot about. You can't even break the covenant. He wants your parents to leave you, so you don't even know what your family was into because you were adopted in foster care, because the devil hides the covenant that you were in. With that being said, free will is very expensive, because no matter what the choice you make, it's always a consequence to that choice that you have to pay for. With that being said, the Bible says that the wages of sin are death. The wages of sin are death. If you are having sex with somebody and that is not your husband or your wife, it is fornication, which we have agreed that it means idolatry, which is a sin. That means that you can expect nothing but death. Now, you might not see physical death. Sometimes it's death of the relationship, death of your mental sanity, death of your life, because now you got to do this by yourself because they're going to leave you. But most cases it's abortion. I don't want to do this. I don't like him or her anyway. I'm going to have to do this by myself. I'm going to kill this thing because that was the price you paid for your free will decision. That price did not come for free. What that means is now what's on your life is a spirit of abortion, or in other words, the demonic covenant with Moloch that you are now covenanted yourself to. Everything you touch is aborted. You're right at the brink of breakthrough, and it has aborted itself. You are always starting things, but you never finish them. Well, Tiffany, I've never had an abortion. That sounds like me. Then your mother and father did. And guess what? The covenant still stands. Just because your mother and father died, or your your parents died, doesn't mean the covenant dies. The covenant is alive until you wake up and break the covenant.
We'll stop it there. But thoughts on that?
It's like the saying that you have free will, but you don't have control of your consequences. I mean, you have control of your actions, but you don't have control of your consequences.
Right. Right. Like you can just unalive you going to jail.
Man, shout out to her, shout out to Harley Initiated. I think that shit, her breakdown fits like a glove, honestly. I think I don't know how many people take into account the reality that no matter when you decide to quote unquote unalive a fetus, the spirit has already been attached to it. So the idea that I need to have more time, more freedom for my career, or I need to have more time and more freedom to pursue other men, or whatever it is that these women decide they want to do that for, is crazy work.
I think the beautiful thing to even notice about that was to understand that God lets you know his covenant. He lets you know what's up off the rip. Like you see a clean contract, and the darkness of it is like, oh, you get to do this thing. It's like in the beginning, it's like, oh, surely you will not die. It's like basically like dissuades you from God's covenant to his covenant. I mean, like if you do this with me, you just won't die. It's like Eve wasn't, even there to even think about like, okay, what would happen, with you if I did? It's just like, okay, cool. I know I just won't die now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's so like, I remember just being so wayward and so like wishy-washy with my time and my energy that I think back to it and it's just like, yeah, that is a real spirit. It's like you don't want to do anything. You don't believe in yourself. You just letting life pass you by. You don't even want to wake up for real. You just kind of just doing just enough not to, be homeless or whatever the case may be. But the reality of just being alive and tapping into something, it does start with identifying the particular spirits that are holding you down. Because just because you can't see them don't mean that they're not there. And it's like just thinking about the subject and thinking about like the stories I heard growing up, just like family stories, just about this thing. I don't even want to call it what it is. You know what I mean? Because it's very disturbing. when you look at the numbers, when you look at the statistics, and you look at the reasons why it's happening, because the argument is grape and incest when that's the least likelihood of the reasons why a person would even do it. So now you got a whole bunch of reasons that people can't even really talk about. And the spirit of it, the energy of it is very thick. So thick that a lot of times people don't really want to address it.
Yeah. You want to see a particular woman crash out, question her about her abortion. Like, women crash out over that question almost just as much as they crash out about things like body count. Now, I either or is not for me to say, but as a spiritual man who is stoked in his ethics and his morality, speaking for myself, like, if I don't say anything, if we don't say anything, silence is the same thing as omission. Omission is the same thing as sharing guilt. That guilt goes with everything that has to do with conspiring to prolong whatever it is that you have going on in order for you to not allow that gift from the creator to flourish, to grow. So, like, we can get into all of the schematics about why and why not. At the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. Mm-hmm. Y'all can't tell me the reasons why they do this when they do it is justified as right. You say your body and you say your choice. However, you're already not making good choices. So why should you also?
No, let's talk about that though. When they say that, I don't think that anybody is taking that away from nobody. I think we're talking about a subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking about nobody specifically.
No.
It's conceptual.
Yes, just like they want to talk about relationships and everything that goes with that in a generalized tone. We can talk about this in a generalized tone as well.
Yeah, and not have no control over nobody's body. I don't even want that control.
Absolutely.
That's not even the point. The point of it is to say the idea shouldn't be normalized in reference to the spirit that is attached to the idea.
To me, it seems like it's and it's also a high sign because we're getting into it. But it's a spiritual ignorance toward that matter, towards like our own self and also what we're doing, and then what's happening to the woman's body of what Serpent said is like to that fetus, a spirit has been attached to it. So due to this lack of spiritual ignorance, we think it's okay to get rid of the choice after impregnation has happened and so on and so on. It's just those things have been ripped from us and distorted and indoctrinated from us. So it's like getting into it and expressing it so much is a real deep thing, because it's like, how would you feel if you just learned this now? Like, people who wasn't aware got aware of it. How you think of the change their thought process would be to know like they attached themselves to something that they didn't know they had to consciously break because of their actions. It's so easy to just forget about how your actions contribute to so much shit.
It's called karma, and karma is a spiritual precept. And just in reference to Kamala, where Kamala could be an anagram for Kali Ma, they talk about her in a sense where she represents one of the leading figures in the spiritual war. Whether she's on the good side or the bad side remains to be seen. But the idea around all of these particular demons or angels is a result of your actions. And when we talk about your actions, Barack Obama put out, correct me if I'm wrong, he put out a book called The Sins of My Father, meaning that if I grew up in a bad neighborhood and I'm fucking 5 years old, what the fuck did y'all want me to do? Turn into Michael Jackson and fucking moonwalk and get a fucking recording contract with Quincy Jones so he can play with me in a weird way, you know? It's like people, when you a kid, you have no control over the outcome of your life. So when you get into spirituality, you must individuate, especially if you Black, because of the constructs and the demonic entity strongholds that people have put on your bloodline. What am I talking about? What is your history previous, and let's just pick a year, 1328? What is your history directly pinpointed to? Oh, you have no idea. That is a spell. Because there are customs, there are codes that's going to lead you into a proper reality. But Black people in general don't know much about their family history. And that's by design. So you must individuate and get into a spiritual awareness. But you can't get into a spiritual awareness when you got low entity, demonic entities as a stronghold that keep you watching porn, keep you on the dating sites, keep you on Netflix. You don't need to do none of the shit that you feel like you just absolutely have to do. You could stop it immediately if you understood it was a demon attached to it.
I think it comes down to not fearing God. Because when you look at Corinthians, it says, "O death, where is thy sting? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law." And it's not so much, I think, abortion, but it's the capacity for sin, and it's the lack of fear of God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the act that leads to it. Right? It's not even it's too far gone at that point, but more or less conditions that even allow that to be happening is just like the result of sin in totality.
Mm-hmm.
And if nobody
and it's no fear of what God has done to you while you are perpetually sinning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like you cool with God smacking you over your head. You know what I mean? Like putting a knife at your neck. You know, it's like, cool, this is how it is, you know. And I think only until we have God in our life and take our hand off the wheel, you know, it's too much of wanting to control every aspect of your life and not leaving any room for God to intervene or interject, you know, because you don't know better in most cases. And I mean that the 80-year-old person, you know, the 80-year-old Buddhist monk that lived his whole life in the mountains don't know nothing, you know. And until you can understand that, and until you can understand that in the eyes of God, you're an infant. I don't care if you're 300 years old, you're an infant. Mm-hmm. You know, you in the custody of either the devil or God.
I think you said that beautifully, bro. It's the lack of consequence or the lack of the perception of the lack of consequence, because you have no idea that suffering and pain that you have gone through within your life is tied to that thing, right? Mm-hmm. That thing that society has told you that you could just throw away and move on, right? That thing that was given as a gift. And instead of understanding and cherishing and honing what it is that was gifted to you, right? What was gifted to you, because you believe you could just do it again, or because you believe you are more important, or because you believe that there is no consequence to this act, I'm going to continue to commit said act.
And then it makes me think, right? What about a squirrel, right? A squirrel gets some ass. He ain't get married. Is God going to punish the squirrel? Thus, is sex the bad thing, or is the actual act of like, damn, my fault, man. I ain't even mean to have your ass. Like, my bad, man. You know
It's
what I'm
the
saying?
adultery.
Or I have it and then I take care of it and then I change, I grow, I try to adapt, I do everything I need to do to be like, I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut, right? And now I got a baby. It's hormones that happen that make you become a better parent. You know what I mean? What is it? Vasopressin, right? Especially within men. Holding your baby, something happens. A shift happens in your reality. So with all of that being said, it's like, why give up?
It's like it made me also think of like Psalms 51 and how basically man has been shapen in iniquity. And just to say what I said again, the sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. So ultimately, it's not death, it's the ultimate problem is sin. And the capacity for sin and the ignorance of what you're getting yourself into, like y'all saying, once you sin. It's like opening up Pandora's box once you sin.
And I like how you got into that, dog, because that's one thing that's focused on people's minds. It's like the actions and what they getting caught up with sin, and then especially when you do it again, it's like, you know, a lot of people think you could just apologize and move from it. But when you really study into Hebrews, it tells you how once Jesus was the sacrifice for sin, you know, if thou willingly sin again, there's no sacrifice remaining. So it's like, it's a whole bunch of twists and turns into this. But it's like, even when you go into sin and they talk about it, you're born into sin. So you're already losing the game. Because the actions of your father and the actions of your people. And then when you're born into
that's
sin,
that's it right there. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you think about that too, now when you think about the system and how we're born in it, we're born in sin. Because now we're tied to a system that we cannot shake, that we've been born into. So it's just layers to it that applies. It's mind blowing, man. It's like you in a game that you're trying to win, but they secretly tell you how you can't win it.
And it's, I just feel like it's a lack of fear of God. You know, you don't fear what God would do, or you can't see what God has done to you because of your sin, you know, because of your multi-generational sin. So it's kind of like like all y'all was saying, like at this point, you don't even know what happened. You know, you don't even know what covenant you under. Just like Tick in Lovecraft Country. You know what I mean? Like you do all this shit. You do all this shit. Think you making moves and shit just to figure out that, no, bro, we gonna use your body and your blood and your flesh. Yes, your blood and bones is what's going to end this. And he was like, oh shit, he got to crying. Like, I don't want to do it, you know. And I think as individuals, we do that every time we find ourselves in a place where, damn, I could really end this shit, but I want a Ferrari. I want fuck bitches, you know. But you ain't. It's like the saying, like, are you gonna die for the cause? And most of us won't die for the cause, but we'll kill for it. But you ain't
Kill ourselves even.
Yeah.
It made me think about Agatha, where at the end you realize she ain't have no power. She just kept seducing all of the witches because the witches didn't know. And she just basically stole power. Her whole entire shit was still in power. And it's like where we're at with this thing, if we don't know who we are, if we say, man, our ancestors were slaves, we essentially as a people throwing up our hands and saying we don't know shit about who we are. Period. There's no way we can actually know. So therefore, when we look at the world and see what's put upon us, as far as government and institution and propaganda, we can see our power because these people are clearly stealing our shit from multiple layers. And energetically, the reason why I'm having these types of conversations because it don't take a lot of people to dismantle this whole shit. Because we've been dismantling this whole shit for years. When we stepped into this thing, life wasn't the way that it is now. Right? We always are changing the internal world by knowledge of self because it don't take much from us because we've been here for so long. Our mental is very powerful. We can think and speak things into existence. And thus, in this world, we don't really fully understand it. That's why it's good to study the Hindu. It's good to study the Native American because at least those are the fragments, the Egyptian, at least those are the fragments, the Bible, at least those are the fragments of the totality of who we are. And when you talk about Jesus and Revelation and all of this, we're talking about high level magic. We're talking about high level sorcery that I know that we have access to with our mind, with our altar work. And when you look at Kamala, her name is Kamala. Like, how
she was a persecutor in California.
Like, come on, Cali.
In California, right?
California, and she was fearsome. She was fierce.
He was a prosecutor.
You know, like he was locking niggas up. Let's just say it like that. Like, and people don't like that, right? But that's why people don't get with Cali, because Cali is a dark goddess. Like, she will step on your ass, but she's also worship. So from my perspective, I gotta look at it from a holistic perspective. Like, I can see the negative aspects of the abortion, but I'm also looking at Kamala like, girl, what you got with you? What you got with you, Kamala? Like, I want to like talk to her and get to really know her type shit, because I feel like she be leading the seances or something. She be the one like, all right, y'all, let's get in a circle. You bring your candle today? Because her name is Kamala, and Kamala is Shakti, Lakshmi, the root chakra. And when you have a relationship with Vishnu, Shiva, when you have all of this energy and this time, and I hate when people say like, well, what did she ever accomplish? Well, she was a prosecutor, she was a senator, and now she's running for president. If that was a nigga and you said that about him, you'd be like, oh, that nigga pretty impressive. Like, I like him. You know what I'm saying?
She only like 60, 61.
Yeah, she's not that old with it. You know what I'm saying?
And what people forget,
you run every 4 years.
And what people forget is what we talked about the last show, and that was like, you can't, when you put in the work, people can't deny your work. Like, when you actually working, you getting things done. When people try to talk about you, then they look at your resume, your stat sheet. You might step on that line with them and lost or whatever, but at the end of the day, they can't deny what you did. So it's just like, It's like when people bring up the whole Michael Jordan, LeBron, then people gonna be like, these rings, that ring, this shot, these passes. They always go back to what they did on the field and they work.
You got to think, what did it take to be? And that's why it's always an interesting question, because how hard is it to be an NBA player? And then how hard is it to be one of the elite best players of all time when niggas have an average career of 3 years and most niggas ride the bench and it's hard to get playing time? So it's like, when we look at our sports stars, our movie stars, I hate that we live in a culture now where our stars is like Kodak Black and Shamar and Saucy Santana and things of that nature. I like the Kobe Bryants and the Michael Jordans and the LeBron James because I know it wasn't easy for them. They made it look like it was a journey and it was difficult for them to be at that level. And you can respect that and it make you want to work harder at whatever you doing. Like Michael Jordan inspired me, and I didn't even play basketball. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to be Michael Jordan in the things that I was doing. So it's like, what examples do the children have of hard work today?
Yeah, because it's only 450 players in the whole NBA, bro. So you know that's elite. 450.
They playing basketball all over the world. All over the planet, they playing basketball, and you get your 450 best, and then you get to be the elite of that elite. That is, man, it make you think about just how much things have changed in the world. Because now, like LeBron, he gonna be retiring. Who do we look to? Just in sports in general, we don't even have that guy no more. Like it just seemed like everything is just dying out and phasing out, and we entering into a whole new technology wave. I seen a video just before I hopped on here that said within the next 5 years, AI is going to be teaching your kids because all the teachers is going to quit.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine. Yeah, there's only 1,696 football players.
Yeah, that's what I liked about Kobe. He always talked about Mamba mentality, having a type of literally a certain mindset. And I remember this one time I pulled a Kobe, and he did this with a friend. He was like, you know, they was both teammates. He was like, you know, the friend was like, come on, hang out, come out, whatever. And he was like, all right, man. But you know, if I hang out with you, you gotta hang out with me. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I bet. Next thing, so they hang out. They stayed up late, whatever. All I know is he got bro up. It's like 4 or 5 in the morning. They stayed out almost at 2. He's like, what we finna go do? He says, my turn to hang out. We finna go practice. You know, and I pulled that on the buddy because it's like when you know you got a certain mindset and you hanging out with people and people be like, you know, let's do this and that. You be like, all right, you gotta do what I do. You gotta show people how you run so they know the program. And that's what I loved about Kobe. Mm-hmm. He always set a standard for the people that was around him. He was an example. He didn't try to lead people or do anything. He was just like, you know, this is how I get down. You can rock with me or not. He didn't try to convince people to do the work. He just did the work. And everybody wanted to be like him.
Yeah, that remind me of Jordan too. I remember in the Last Dance docuseries, he was talking about like people was talking about like Jordan was so mean, he talked so much shit, and Jordan was just like, man, hey, if you don't want to play like that, then don't play. He was just like, I'm nigga, I don't care about nothing. You know, I'm running through walls with this shit. You know, and if you ain't gonna play like that, why is you on the court? I was like, man, that really stuck with me. You know, like if you gonna half-ass some shit, you gonna get rolled over by somebody that's really about that shit. Just like a street suburban kid want to play street nigga. You know, meanwhile that's the one that go to jail. That's the one that get killed. Them same street niggas is on the block, still doing what they've been doing. You know,
it's called a flunky. You utilize the flunky to do everything in the foreground, and it's real. It is real appropriate in reference to like the election because you can get more of a sense that this whole thing is a charade, and it's two people in front of us, right? But it's a whole system behind both of them, right? And we can be like, man, I hate Kamala. I hate Trump. And the niggas that's running the system, we don't even know. We just like, you know, but they in their suits in their offices. I don't know how they get down. Maybe they don't even wear suits. Maybe they wear overalls and, you know, maybe they wear skirts. I don't know. Maybe they wear robes, but we don't know what the controllers even look like. That's the brilliance of the system. That's what I look at this whole thing at, like, oh man, this is high level chess. Because they can get hundreds of millions of people to cast a vote on a person and forego the whole, you know, billions of dollars go into these particular things. And where did that money come from? It come from people that's not even visible. And that part to me is just like, wow.
Yeah. It reminds me of, it's this anime called One Piece. It's over like 1,100 episodes. It's still going, but basically they got a world government on the show, and the world government has all these guys that are like descendants of the founders, but it got to a point where like all the bloodlines of the founders is no longer there, but you still got people that's in those seats of the founders, like descendants of the founders of the government. And then you have what they call like 5 great elders who are said to run the government. And then in the middle of the world, at the top of this mountain, there's a throne. And the throne, no one sits on the throne. All the countries that started the world government put their swords down around the throne to basically say like no one will ever rule the world. No one person will ever rule the world. And so you got the 5 elders who are basically the face, and they make the decisions. You know, it's kind of like, you know, bureaucracy, if you will. But recently in the show, there is an entity, because it's not even a person, it's just some type of entity that sits on that throne and makes decisions. And but nobody knows who this entity is. Even the 5 elders barely know who they are, barely know who it is. The rest of the people on earth don't even know that it exists. And you know, it really could be some real spooky shit going on. I mean, when these world leaders meet up, you know, because don't think that Putin and the president is like beefing, or Kim Jong-un, they all beefing, or they all in the same fraternity. They all cool with each other, you know, they all, you know, work with the same entity, you know, whatever they told to do, they do it. You know, that just made me think of that, you know, and you can really go down a rabbit hole with it. But I think that if you just focus on yourself, put God in your life, put your soul in your life, I think things will start aligning for you, you know, because the only reason why the system works is because we're out of alignment, you know. We are out of alignment, and it's easy to fuck somebody up, you know, when they walking backwards in the dark, you know, during a blackout, you know, and they got night vision, you know, right. They can do whatever they want to, whenever they want to you. And that's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens.
That's real. That's real. Like, it's like, it reminded me of that movie Bird Box. Was it called Bird Box? And they was walking around blindfolded trying to get to and from.
Yeah. Yup. And they were like blind or blindfolded or something like that, or they couldn't open
they was
eyes.
Blindfolded. They couldn't see, but they had to like move around. But it was people around them that could see. And so you at a disadvantage. We are at a disadvantage. If you're going to tell me money is going to bring us into a disadvantage, will bring us into advantage, well, then give me some money, okay? And if you're not going to give me no money, then how is that an advantage? We need to understand spiritual development in a way to contact the God within. That's going to give you an advantage in this matrix. When you operate like that, these people can't see you. They can't touch you. They can't mess with you. All of your sins are going to be reversed. All of your curses is going to be reversed because that is the light that is within you. That is Jesus coming to save you. You got to get baptized. You got to banish all of these negative energies. You have to, because otherwise you're blindfolded. You just have to do it. And so in this landscape, right, people is just going to try to skip steps, right? And just like, I do readings now, or, join my this or join my that. And I'm took this class and done all of this shit. And it's like, when you talk about how they're giving it up in real life on the integrity side, people, fall short in that area a lot of times. And if you didn't fall short in that area, you wouldn't even need a reading. You wouldn't even have no questions. You wouldn't even be in a space where you confused about what you should do, because God is real. And you know God is real because you know that the devil is real. Look at the news. Look at the news in your average black town: Philadelphia, Chicago, Detroit, Orlando, Miami. That'll tell you that Indiana, Chicago, or I said Chicago already. Say Chicago twice. Shit.
Yeah.
Mississippi, Alabama,
Memphis.
You can't tell me that the devil's not real. You done seen too many moms cry. So if the devil's real, that ultimately means God real. And what Jabri, you keep saying how people is afraid of God, man, that shit is so real. People not afraid of God, rather.
Right, yeah.
Like, that is so real. I say it all the time. I really say girls don't believe in God, but I'll be saying it as a joke because it just don't seem like they really care about God for real. Like,
yeah.
Be like,
I remember being with this one chick. It's like,
I don't think they're evil. I just don't think they really just they talk shit to God for real. Like if he
hey man, when I was with this one chick and we talked about Jesus and stuff because she was into it, I'll just be like, I'm like, yeah, well, what's your thought about this? All I know is this. Hell will break loose. Shit was shut down. I was like, yeah, I just got it.
In Psalm 19, which was written by King David, which is the heart, we're getting esoteric. So this is from the heart. This is from the heart chakra. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from my secret faults. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sin. Let them not have dominion over me. Then I shall be upright, and I shall be innocent from great transgression. You literally gotta pray that you do not willfully sin, because the road of sin is death. Point blank, period. And we can't even get into
that you didn't even do.
Yeah.
No one can see his own errors. This is the part. I think that's the major part.
Breaking up.
Like, we into my fault. We came into electric slide, or we going to the party, or we going to homecoming, or you're gonna get some ass on prom. Like, we didn't set none of these standards. So it's like when we trying to keep up with the Joneses, we have to really gotta take a step back, really, because you more or less crashing out, don't even realize you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Them hidden thoughts, that's the part right there.
Yeah.
Deliver me from hidden thoughts.
And I mean, it starts off, no one can see his own errors. You don't even know what you're doing wrong. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's no reason to feel bad. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what you're doing wrong, but you got to understand that you don't know. So you need to seek guidance from a power that's greater than you. You know, it made me think of the Ice Cube song "Bow Down" to a power that's greater than you. You know, and that's why all throughout the Bible is about asking for mercy. You know, asking God for mercy. Because just like, you know, they say the devil was a lie, the biggest trick is to think that, you know, you have free will. You don't. You just don't know that you don't have free will. If that's making sense. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're so ignorant of your soul that you feel that you do. You know, so it's more of a thing of you're so ignorant that you literally will walk around and say, I can do whatever I want to do. You know, I can do this, I can do that. I should be able to. Pure ignorance, pure immaturity, straight immaturity. You belong in the custody of the federal government saying that dumbass shit. And that's why you're in the predicament you in.
You know,
straight up.
When you just say that, even before you got into the federal government part, that made me think about Dirk and, like, you know, how people saying he was trying to push for peace. But, you know, if you really try to look deeper to it, you know, he was probably a wise person and knew the fuck was going to happen to him. So he started really fearing God low key and was like, you know, I just really don't want to go to jail. You know, start praying. You know, like, yeah, you can say a lot of things for a front, but sometimes a lot of truth being a lot of lies, as they say. Mm-hmm. But Dirk was really showing all these Chicago people. But then Charleston White would say, you know, that don't mean shit. You need to have the mothers up there. You don't need to have the niggas up there that was doing it. Because Hood's talking about the devil is hearing all these mamas cry. And the fact that having those moms up there really speaking, because, you know, when you see the tears of a woman, you hear a woman really speaking about that type of loss, people change, man. People listen. The men break down. Men think about the shit they teaching their sons. So it just make you think about that on a deep level.
Agreed.
Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou. Okay, that was because you read from the King James Version, and it was this other version. They didn't have that part where it says cleanse, and it's like for real, the Bible is really doing magic. It's laying out in all of these foundations you will find in Aleister Crowley, right? In the deepest, darkest occult rituals to get you anything that you want is gonna be a banishing ritual. So in every ritual you do, you have to banish. So not all the time, not some of the times, rather all of the time you have to banish. So in this verse it goes, who can understand his errors? ? Cleanse thou me from secret faults. And this is what we're saying, like, this whole time, like, even though you make mistakes, there is more or less, I'm not going to say a way out, because not for real, because even though you can go through all of these processes, it's like washing your car. If you run over some mud and you can say, I just washed my car 10 minutes ago. Well, it's back dirty again. What you going to do? Right? You got to clean it all over again. So more or less just understanding these basic concepts and these principles is going to help you just tremendously shed these demons over these next 4 years, because people don't even realize the demons that's attached to these particular things that they've been laying out. Why is the 4 performers for Kamala, Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B? Like, come on, Lizzo.
The 4 horsemen.
Don't forget
that's a spirit, Bob.
Don't forget Sexy Red.
Sexy Red, Beyonce.
Sheesh.
And then they had the Black Men Summit, and that's cool, but they don't ever even talk about reparations. They don't even talk about entrepreneurship opportunities. Like, you know, being able to be gateways to success. They want to always talk about voting for Kamala because she Black, or voting for Kamala because she a woman. And it's like, I would vote for Kamala if she promised me an entrepreneurial loan up to $1 million that I could only spend on business. She got my vote.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean,
because it's been given to other cultures. It's out there. It's women's laws in there that you could be a woman owner of a business and get a $50,000 grant.
Yeah, she pandered. She pandered to a particular type of melanated person, and it almost seems like the view that in which they view us as is like just all ratchet, because I don't see anything else, right? Like, I didn't know that a hip hop campaign was synonymous with being the leader of the free world. Like, I didn't know that was a thing.
I'm just trying to conflate Glorilla to governmental policies that's going to lead us into 2028.
Hold on.
Bro, it's going to be 2028.
Just because you put Meg Thee Stallion in a pantsuit, like, you still have her twerking, bro. This is weird.
What technologies are going to be in place in the next 4 years? You going to show me Meg Thee Stallion? Can we talk about artificial intelligence, robotics, electrical engineering?
Cars? Can we talk about autonomous cars taking over the West Coast? Like, when they going to get to the East Coast? Like, can we talk about
improvements in education, improvements in infrastructure?
Not letting AI take over teaching.
Like, can we talk about something substantial, or do we want to be like, hold on, ho?
How many factory workers stand to lose their jobs?
How many have already lost their jobs?
How many companies are going out of business because those jobs have been shipped over to the Ukraine, or China, or Russia, or China? Like, how many people are going to be bought out? They said the new millionaire is going to be the plumber and the HVAC guy, because manual labor is going by the wayside, and so the blue collar guy is going to be the new millionaire.
I see it. When that toilet is backed up, what the fuck you going to do? You ever been in the wintertime and your heat got cut off? What you going to do when your thermostat broke?
Word. It's only but so many layers you could put on, my nigga.
Yeah, it get real cold.
I was just talking about that.
Or do it though. It is November and it's 80 degrees.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me it's not a pole shift going on, bro.
Bruh, I was just talking about that earlier. Having a car with no heat, having your thermostat broke. Like, how do you get the ice off your windshield? Like, how do you really, like, yo?
You don't. You just let your hot breath heat up the heat. You just be breathing mad hard with your mouth, and you have body heat, and it just start radiating outside. Then you listen to your favorite music. By the fourth song, you be so turned up into your song, like it just all defrosts. Like it's just like your energy.
Don't be one of them weird niggas pause that lick the window, right?
Oh man,
this shit gets stuck to the window.
I know people that threw hot water on their windshield trying to defrost it.
Yo.
Nah, mechanics, all of these particular things, these careers that people actually really need, it's still a way out here, and being very practical, it might not be sexy, it might require a little education, but it's still a way out here. You just got to not really get off the tech, but get off the tech. The tech really is going to be, the tech is distracting and it ain't worth shit. That's what people going to realize. Yeah, we got to figure out nuts and bolts.
And by the
shit
time
that really matters.
By the time the average person realizes that shit, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be too late.
Yeah, I mean the devices given take away your kid on the iPad right now, snatch it away from that little nigga right now. Just snatch it real crazy from him and tell me that nigga ain't going to melt down.
You will see a crash out. Immediately
talking about.
Yeah. You laughing like you did it before.
Oh, I don't give my kids electronics. We all
okay.
Like
I'm
done. I'm not. They
right.
No, hell no. There's no need. There's no need because we doing worksheet because we was doing like the online learning. We was back to worksheets and then we playing sports after we do our work. And then by the time all that's done, them niggas is tired and they ready to take their shower and go to sleep. My kids, dog, they 9, you know what I'm saying? My older kids, 9 and 11, no phone, no tablet, no nothing, just life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, at first I didn't think it was possible, but like they did have tablets and shit, but I realized like it's no need for that shit. And they don't even enjoy it. It's really numbing their mind, really, you know?
Turning your consciousness into applesauce.
Man, fuck all that, man. Hey, throw them fucking, don't give your kid no goddamn cell phone until they about 17, 18, 16, 17, 18. Don't give them no fucking tablet. You not a good parent because they not crying, because they watching fucking some shit on their tablet.
That's a fact.
You didn't succeed.
That's a bar right there. You're not a good parent just because they not crying. That's a bar.
Yeah, we got to get off that. We got to get off that moving into the future. We got to look back at this whole little period of time. Like, yeah, we going back to how we grew up. I ain't grow up with no fucking tablet. We was outside with it, just doing shit. Like, even if we was doing productive shit, like playing sports or whatever, like social interactions,
riding your bike somewhere,
just doing something. Like figuring that part out. Like we can't put our parenting onto the technology. We got to get down and dirty. They gonna have meltdowns. They gonna. My kids trip the fuck out, man. But you know, they over it though. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. It was like weaning them from heroin, nigga. Like that's what it was like.
Yeah,
in real life.
As a parent, you need to see that, right? Like if you don't see your kid throw a tantrum, that's a problem. That's a problem. You need to understand where their mind is going and what they're thinking about and how their emotions get them to a particular point in order for you to understand how to get them back from it. Like you need to see that shit.
Or else their boyfriend gonna see it when they 25 and you be like, Mom, can you bail me out? Like what?
Like you see
in the chat if you ever had to call your parents to come bail you out because you
those memes, you see those memes online all the time about those girls who melt down every time they get caught cheating. Like they just melt the fuck down, bro, because you know they can't hold up the facade of the lie no more. Like go fucking batshit crazy. Like yeah, because they probably never had to cry, never cried really as a fucking kid. Nobody paid attention to them. No understanding the consequences. Your kids need to understand consequences, and you need to see how your kid deals with consequences.
And I like how you talked about that schedule because some of the kids that come to dojo and train, most of them are homeschooled and their parents are with them and stuff. And after they get done doing their things, they'll let them go to grappling, and they'll be having fun. And then we'll have games and stuff for the kids to do that's physical and all that. So that's pretty cool. You was rapping about that.
Yeah, man. Technology will not raise your kids right. It's gonna fuck it up. Like it ain't Like I seen a kid have a meltdown, and then the parents gave him the tablet so he could calm down. And I'm like, don't you know that's just how motherfuckers do with heroin? You know what I'm saying? It's the same. It's the same exact thing, man. So, yeah, man, we gotta actually look at this thing and really be progressive in our own right, and be very holistic and like understand. I guess really, I want to bring it back to the astrology of the day. Now that Jabri is here, the moon is in Ophiuchus, and got Venus in Ophiuchus as well. And really just looking at the energy for today, so we can look at this day 4 years from now, and really, because this time represents new beginnings, Sun trine Saturn. If you look up astrologyking.com, look up the transit for Sun trine Saturn, because Saturn dealing with the time and the Sun really dealing with your expression in its higher octave and how you show up for the community. What are you starting? Like, what is the new thing for Kamala or Donald Trump? They're going to be starting a new vision of them being a president, but we're not going to be president. A lot of people are going to be House representatives, senators, governors. All of these people are starting new journeys today, but you are too. The difference between the journey that you're starting is that you ain't got to, kiss ass or be a politician. So, like, how does this energy really, just from an astrological point of view, how do y'all relate the energy of the day to like y'all future or the future of the collective?
Just one thing to add is this is Kamala's second Saturn return.
Damn, for real?
Yeah. And two things stand out. The Mars opposed Pluto, and then you got the moon conjunct Venus. But the Mars opposed Pluto for me is really powerful. Just speaking from that real inner self-love, with not turning your back on your spirit, not turning your back on your soul, really putting forth effort, for in the name of love, because that Pluto in Capricorn is going to take you to a place that you never ever dreamed of. And I think it causes a lot of frustration. Pluto opposed Mars, but Pluto and Mars be on the same type of time. It's just Pluto is a little bit more thought out. It's a little bit more of a script, whereas Mars is a lot more, straight to the point, in my opinion. And then Venus conjunct the moon speaks to, and Ophiuchus at that speaks to, like, man, I would say it speaks to like healing, opening up. Like, I think right now you should really be aware of your blind spots as a person, because I think that conjunction is kicking a lot of stuff up. Like you getting really acquainted with the poison, that you've taken or that's been injected into you. Yeah, I mean, and then you even got Neptune at home in Pisces, so it's a lot going on, that just speaks to breakthroughs.
Yeah.
To me, it's like a breakthrough.
Because that Neptune Pisces is squaring with the moon, so it's like when you think about what's going on right now, all this shit happening is like a big illusion, but it's causing all that confusion. So it's like being able to deal with this confusion and this emotional insecurity that could be happening within ourselves is like a big thing that could be a turnaround. Because right, with this election happening, right? You know, whatever happens, and if you're into it or not into it, things are going to happen. It's going to affect you. And it might bring you confusion. You might not even know what to do or even start in your point. But clearing that confusion is going to be key. And that's like dealing with that 12th house energy of Neptune, really dealing with those subconscious habits, tapping into that, and not reading too hard into your dreams at this point, like, because it's so much confusing. If you're not really tracking your dreams in your dream journal, you know, don't be wondering why you're having this type of dream if you're not being consistent. And plus, with the moon and Ophiuchus, you could be doing some inner healing for yourself. So it's like you can really get rid of the confusion.
Molasses. I remember I was dating this girl, and she was like, "I'm gonna call you Molasses because you just be slowing me down. I be just wanting to go to work and move so fast, and I just be wanting to just lay in the bed with you. I'm gonna call you Molasses," and that's what it make me think about this transit, because you got the Grand Trine with Mercury, Neptune, and Mars, all water signs. But if you look at the first deacons of these water signs, you have disappointment and indolence, and then you have love, right, as the fulcrum or the middle point to these two opposing negative energies. Meaning that if it's like rather to love than loss, rather to love than lose than to never love at all. So back to like when we was talking about just sin and things of that nature, I feel a lot of times men and women, we really feel like, well, if I didn't just be in this toxic ass relationship with this person, I would have never, felt love at all in any place. But that's really not true. You really got to just relax and really understand the whole process of baptism, of cleansing, of restoring your energy, and really letting it go too, because like letting go of your disappointment, letting go of your laziness. Why? Because you love your future, right? And why do you love your future? Because the Mars is opposed Pluto, right? Pluto is the transformation, it's the change. You love that change, you want that change. So how do you get out of that change? You can't be lazy, and you can't have a negative disposition. So ultimately, right, it's very simple to activate Mars opposed Pluto, but you got to really be clear of what spirits is holding you down, pulling you down. Because what AD said yesterday, Lucifer, Venus, same entity. The same things make you laugh be the things that make you cry. So just really just get into a space where you very centered, very normal, very observant, very demure. When it comes to this particular energy, it's going to be it's a fun ride, because I'm telling you, things can change for the better when you become so deeply intentional and you're willing to do the banishing work. Right, the banishing work, the play is in, right? The Grand Trine, water sign, Grand Trine, it is happening now. So before Mercury move out of this trine energy, take advantage of it through ritual. Ladies, sit on that pot, steam that twat, do some form of cleansing and releasing, banishing rituals, things of that nature to just start over. Right, because the sun is trying Saturn, new beginning, right? But we can all be energetically, emotionally, and mentally aligned. So then our Pluto and Capricorn, which will be our ultimate physical manifestation of the work that we're putting in energetically and spiritually. And fuck whoever win the fucking election, because you still got work to do. But it's just interesting to look at. It's interesting.
Even that Mars trine Neptune, that's that creative work to do that you like low key ducking, And I feel like once you tap into that and use that sexual energy for creation instead of trying to find something to put something in. You can create a lot of things that you've been holding in your subconscious mind that you don't.
And big bro, Bitcoin just hit 74. Did you hear me? On a weird note, left field, Bitcoin just hit 74, bro.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was going to talk about that. Because Trump, Elon, but y'all remember Dogecoin and all of that type of stuff that was going on. But I knew that if Trump was going to win this election, Bitcoin was going to reach all-time highs. Bitcoin its next target is 100K. It's going to reach that 100K. Like
Definitely.
we gotta be real about this type of stuff. And so, especially if Trump win, because Trump is working with these people, man. The people that's been like on this, like I don't know what you call it, man. The Pizzagate shit, all of that shit. Like I seen this video with Hillary Clinton. With Hillary Clinton. You remember when she had looked like she had passed out or some shit?
Yeah.
If you look closely, she handcuffed and she don't want to get into the van for real.
Mm-hmm.
And
she don't want nobody to see that I had cuffs on.
Yeah, right. And when really the thing of it is that all of these people is already taken care of. And really it's a whole big psyop that's being taken place with Trump in the United States military right now, and they doing it on all levels. And so it's going to be a point in time where they do 3 days of darkness. I'm just telling you this because it's out here. This information is out here, and everything else is coming true. So, just to be prepared for this, the 3 days of darkness should take place. Boom. And then everything will come out like, yo, this is what's been happening for these past 4 years. We've been invaded. They was doing all types of shit. They was trying to ruin our country. The goddamn migrant crisis is not no joke. All of this shit is real. So it's like, yo, it's about to get weird in this goddamn country, y'all. Just to let y'all know, man. So what are you going to do energetically, spiritually, and mentally, and physically to stay aware? Because you can be like, oh my God, and just like break down, or you can be prepared and fight back and have a awareness of what you're going to do moving forward. Because I'm trying to get to fucking Costa Rica.
At some point,
me and Seven Bomar.
That's a fact.
Would you say that on Bitcoin going up would be that Mercury in Scorpio due to like how Scorpio's like into investment and loans and a type of Harris's energy with money?
You can look at it. You can look at the whole. When you look at the Grand Trine and they have a kite, all of these energies is related to money. You have Uranus in Taurus, Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter opposed Venus. Venus rules luxury. Then you have Mars in Cancer. The third decan of Cancer is wealth, right, or luxury. Or the second decan is abundance. The first decan is love. So Cancer is very centered in wealth. And then you look at Mercury in Scorpio. Mercury is money.
It's about to be in the Six of Cups too.
So you telling me I need to be drawing kites tonight and meditating? I got you. Right on.
I mean, but if you look at a Grand Trine kite is one of the most auspicious placements that you could ever have, right? And then you got Sun Trine Saturn is very much karmic. What is karmic? I invested in Bitcoin on the well, it's too late to invest now, right? It's already going up, but it goes down. So you got to just buy the dips, really. That's or just study it. get into it at your own level, but it is something that should be taken note of. Like even in just other areas, like you'll be receiving windfalls of cash. Your money situation is going to change, but so should your business change because the sun is in Libra. So you can file you should start a business, or you can start a business, before the full moon, right? Do something in reference to just an idea, or do the next level with your paperwork. File some, if you already got a business, I know you can file some papers with the IRS, file an S corp, so your finances ain't associated with your LLC or something like that. Dive deeper into this realm of things. Get your shit associated, like get a license or something like that. Like do something in reference to the sun being in Libra. Get some education, but that education is going to manifest into a financial windfall, especially moving forward. This business, if you do your business right, get the right business account, EIN number, file it correctly, right? And then start applying for the loans, and then start, start moving very real strategic. Because at some point, you can just start an LLC, start a business, and or you can start it and do it real smart, like, and then that's what this Sun trine Saturn really looks like to me. Really starting something very serious.
Yeah, it's crazy you said that, bro, because I was going to talk to you about it. I gotta call you off hours to talk to you about that. But I got four calls today for business loan offers. So everything that you said is right and exact. As I just finished getting all my paperwork and everything. So yeah, everything the big bro is saying is right and exact because he gave me this lecture a few years ago.
And then everything Lilith, the South Node, Vertex, and Virgo. So everything is really lined up to really line your pockets. No pun intended. Is Black Friday. So in reference to that, you can get really aggressive with your promotion, with your marketing, whatever you selling. Like it don't diminish whatever it is that you selling either. Like think about it in a way where it could be exponentially greater than the effort that you put in, if only you put in effort, right? Because the sun is about to do some amazing things through Scorpio and Ophiuchus, to whereas we're going to be so supercharged going into 2025 that, it's best to be intentional. It's best to have your business in order and not look for no shortcuts. Chiron moving into Aries, so you got to really be on top of that part. Like it's a new sheriff in town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't be the fuck around and find out type with Chiron.
Yeah, the Aries at that, like you gonna be exposed. You gonna be exposed, Chiron and Aries. You're gonna be so fucking mad that you can't blame nobody.
You got to deal with all the consequences of your unhealed trauma. What'd you say, Serpent?
I was saying Chiron and Aries. That's super immediate right there.
I mean, it makes me think of, Aries is the sign of the child. It's the wounded child. It's the sacrifice aborted child. The chicken coming home to roost.
And it's the Emperor card. Also, the Hebrew letter Hey, window.
It's like if you ever heard the mythology of Uranus, Uranus is going through all of these dimensions and shit, and he's climbing to the very top, right? He's getting to the very, very top, and he have to climb through this portal. And when he climbs through the portal, he's like at the beginning of his journey, and he's just sitting there like, I did all of that shit just to come back to where I fucking started at. What the fuck? There is no progression. It's only cycles. So the astrology shows you that it doesn't even progress. It's just different variations upon the theme in the cycle. Therefore, mastery, especially when it comes to melanated original people that have been put under spell through demonic entities and covenants, once we're able to understand how many cycles we've actually been on, then we'll just utilize the power of our mind to manifest everything that we want, because the system is already laid out. But if we don't utilize the system, meaning you don't start the business, you don't do the research, you don't maximize your talents, your gifts, then it's like, the system is against you, right?
Just to quote Corinthians again, the strength of sin is the law of the Lord.
Facts. Major facts.
Be wise.
I like that. It's not a true progression. This is a cycle. This shit is going over and over and over until you really study your cycles. Until you study those cycles, you're gonna be in them. You know what I mean? Just blindly moving through it. You know what I mean? Really thinking that you're doing stuff and moving somewhere, but yeah,
it's like
that shit crazy.
It's like the levels of beginner, intermediate, advanced, and mastery. It's like they all like basically type of waves. Basically like metaphors of brain waves, metaphors, waves of cycles, understanding of the evolution of self.
And then if like you play this video game, you love this fucking video game so much, and you beat it, it don't be like, all right, let's play the advanced version of this game. You got to start that bitch all over again if you want to play it again. And for us, we obviously love it down here because we keep coming back for whatever reason. So we got to really just understand that level of I've been here before. Therefore, how do I master this game? Because clearly it's a game if I keep coming back. It can't be that serious. Thus, whoever is putting it down on you, you got to learn to release those strongholds, release those binds. And it is a powerful thing. I'm going to practice it tonight, but just get into the power of like ritually banishing energies, working with the ground, working with the ceiling, working with the directions. Because, man, I think what I've realized is that spirits are all around us. And when we ignore them, they tend to like double back and put us on our ass. But if we work with them, things become exponentially easier.
Shake. Because a lot of times it's not you making things happen. It's just you being so in alignment with divine spirits that shit just work for you. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's one of the hardest things I had to understand in my spiritual development is that, my intention when I meditate is to align with the divine ancestors in my lineage, because spirits are just like birds. They see the whole city from where they at. You think you're going somewhere, they already know what's in your way. They already know what you're gonna ask for before you open your mouth. So if you just get in alignment with them and stop being so prideful, things will get a lot more easier for you. whole lot easier for you because you're trying to do things that you're not supposed to be doing. You're supposed to just fucking chill and be ready when they call.
It's like the cherry card, Chet. You know, the Hebrew letter Chet means fence or field. So pertaining to destroying the barriers that lie in your way of progress, is spiritual or material. We become liberated in new perspectives. Because we have to shed the false perception of ourselves. And also, the chariot, the man in the armor, he's not controlling it. It's the sphinxes that's controlling the chariot. So we have to remember that. So when we're aligning ourselves, that's really the true way that we can actually follow our path is through alignment. You know, and the chariot connects you to Benai, the understanding, right? It's like, because Benai and Chokma, the difference between those two, Chokma is the wisdom and Benai is the understanding. But it's like Chokma is like knowing everyone has a soul. Benai is understanding that how everyone is different while having a soul and being different and being all aspects of creation.
And the true knowledge is to fear God.
Right, because the chariot gonna do what he need to do in that chair. So those sphinxes gonna low-key lead him right.
When you look at the Sphinx, Zachary Lansdowne, he calls the Sphinx the 4 personalities or the 4 aspects of your personality. So ultimately, it is your personality that's going to lead you. So what does this look like? What mask are you wearing? Right, you get to choose. You get to choose your direction, meaning you get to buy the Sphinx that you want to buy to lead you down whatever road you want to go through. But you got to actually know, like, all right, this persona is going to lead me in this direction while I'm down here. And for a lot of people, that it is within you who you actually are coming down here to be, but you got to be so strong and so wise to really just let go and allow it to come to the surface and really allow it to develop. But eventually, you know, we all get there. Some of us do, I would say, but it do take a little bit of time.
But just like Erykah Badu said, I guess we'll see you next lifetime.
Man, with
sorry,
that being,
get another round.
Yeah, this your favorite game that you like to play, and you know, for a lot of us, I would say the game is to find your twin flame. Right, like, all right, we gonna come back in another lifetime, different times, different races. You know what I'm saying? We gonna find each other. Just everything gonna play out. We gonna find each other one way or another. I think that's a game we like to play.
Hey, Marvel, DC, Hawk Girl, and Hawkman, they based off Egyptian mythology, how 2 lovers keep reincarnating to find each other, and how you got Vandal Savage trying to kill him because he was a dude that was in love with her, and if he couldn't have her, he'll kill her. So it was a deep mythology to that within your twin flame, and they expressed Marvel. I mean DC universe. I'm sorry.
You can see that on the Justice League Unlimited animated series.
Yeah, I should have wrote for Marvel. I just made that shit up. So I don't even know what y'all niggas even talking about. But I feel like we talking about the same thing, man. This is how you know.
We are. We are.
That shit crazy. But I ain't gonna keep y'all up too late. Trump looked like he winning, but it's actually close. So
he closed that gap, bro.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look at this and get some work done for tomorrow. And but yeah, man, make sure y'all join the Discord. This was a special election edition. the initiates for the flame, and just staying consistent, staying accountable, and dealing with I guess, what do you call these current events in a spiritual way, because most people are just talking about the spiritual events or current events just like it's just happening. But I feel like we can look deeper into these particular things, brought the guys with me so we could just chop it up as the election is taking place. Hopefully y'all gonna enjoy y'all families tonight. Set y'all intentions over these next 4 years. Become a president in your own life. Become a chief, a CEO in your own life, so you can make the moves and do the sorcery and the magic necessary to have the life that you absolutely want. So, with all that being said, man, let AD, Jabri, Serpent give their outros or anything additional that they want to say to the collective before we get out of here.
Sacred Serpent, Sacred Dark Serpent. Just be true and honest to yourself, and let's do something different for 2025. Salute.
Ashe, work smarter, not harder, and focus and lock in. Tap in with me. Got some heat coming out in the morning. So much love to the tribe. Appreciate y'all. Ashe.
Good night and good luck.
Because you're going to need it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But no, we'll catch y'all on the flip side, man. See y'all in the next video. Peace to the flames. And we'll see y'all on the Discord. Link is in the description. Peace.